All I can tell you for sure is this is the current position as of 2 July. Prior to that, any expenditure that we've had, for example, for the internet or the conference deposit, I've always checked with Liz for approval, and we've spent the money. So money has come in, money has gone out. The records are there to build a financial statement, but we haven't prepared a financial statement. Because we've tried to provide good access for people to pay, we've had a US account, we've had a British account, we've had PayPal, which has collected money in US dollars and British pounds, which complicates things to some extent. I think we probably need to change that to make it a simpler process in the future. Because I've been preoccupied with the conference work in the last couple of months, I can tell you that we will certainly break even with this conference, and that's a big worry off my mind. We don't want to leave here with the police chasing after us to pay our bills when we leave. So as a conference, this has been a financial success, and we will come out not having made a large profit, but having not lost any money on it.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Please. You'll see on the slides a summary of the financial position that Jack has told you about. 2 days ago, we received a financial breakdown from Daniel Birch, the treasurer. Unfortunately, because we've only just received it, we haven't had time to examine that in any detail, but it will be audited by an individual in the United States, and we will send the audited accounts to our membership. So I hope that has your approval. It's perhaps not the way that we would have ideally wished to be able to present the accounts, but I think that we've done a good job with no money and a lot of goodwill from a lot of people. So, can I ask that you, in theory, approve what we have just told you? Brendan. I probably should have said at the beginning, although it doesn't look like I need to remind everyone that because for many people English isn't their first language, can we not speak so quickly that people struggle to understand?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on making the best of what's obviously a very bad situation. I think for Wasli to not be able to give some sort of clear indication of the situation, not just the final situation, but the progress of the account over 4 years is a very serious situation. With the board of the Spanish National Association, FILSE, F-I-L-S-E, we talked about this in our last meeting, and we're very aware that Wasli, as an international organisation and the most representative organisation of sign language interpreters on the planet, we need to be as transparent as possible. We need to be able to be accountable and to show as clearly as possible what has happened. Now, understandably, issues can arise. In this case, there are questions of personal health and the amount of involvement and work that one of the board members could contribute. But equally there are provisions in the governing document that guarantee a minimum of transparency, and we feel that those haven't been respected. So, for example, the governing document talks about an annual financial report. So we should expect at least for there to be 2 or 3 years worth of accounts available to be able to see what has been spent, where is money coming from, this sort of thing. So I think it's a major worry, and it's something that we need to take into account for the future. There's no point in crying over spilled milk and thinking about problems that we've had. We can see that the accounts are more or less healthy. Thank goodness, and that's been largely due to the hard work of the members of the board and volunteers who've been able to contribute. But we really need to be able to see the accounts, not just for the members, but for the rest of the world, for Wasli to be able to say, this is what we do with our money, this is how we spend it, this is where our money comes from. So that's one issue. I don't know if you want to talk about that now, or can I bring up a second issue?
Yes, just to thank Brendan for raising that point. I think the board is very conscious of its responsibilities to its membership. And I think we have tried very hard to put into place structures that will enable this sort of situation not to arise again. It has indeed been unfortunate that we experienced this prolonged period of ill health and difficulties of communication. But I would assure people present and our members that it's something that we're very sensitive to, and hopefully, no, not hopefully, it definitely will, with the new board, be addressed very, very, very closely.
Do any of the other members want to comment on this point, or shall I move on to the next point I wanted to make? Yep, so I'll move on. Okay. So the second issue is related to the fantastic work that Jack has done, and I think he's very much saved the day for Wasli. I mean, at least all of us who are attending here today have been able to see the current situation of the account, which is a great achievement, because doing accounts for an organisation like this is no mean feat. It's something very difficult to do, and with various accounts and different currencies and sponsorship programs, it's very difficult to keep track of the funds. But at the same time, I think that in the governing document, the Wasli board has the power and the capacity to appoint staff, let's say, or appoint people who can carry out duties that are needed for the Wasli board. I think we need to be very clear about the responsibilities and the duties of those people. And again, this is to make things as transparent as possible. And it's an issue that's come up in other organisations. I know that in EFSLI, the European Forum of Silent Interpreters, so the European version of Wasli, let's say, issues of board members' duties and responsibilities have come up in recent years. If an officer has certain duties, they're clearly defined in the governing document. If those duties are passed on to another person, in this case, we have a close relationship with Jack, and there's a great